We always blessed with talents. Every last one of you have a talent, but it's on you to develop and exercise and go get it. It's on you. That's not on mama, that's not on daddy, that's not on the friend, that's not on the homie, that's on you to go get it. So all of you got something inside of you that is just screaming to get out. And it's about time that you bring it out. I like work ethic and I like talent, but I also love character. Character is gonna keep you where you wanna go longer than you really need to stay. Work ethic is unbelievable, talent is as well, but sooner or later it's something that's inside of you just has to want it. You have to need it. You gotta go at it like it's that next breath that you gotta take, that you nobody can stop you. And the closer you get to it, you're gonna have naysayers, you're gonna have doubters, you're gonna have people that's close to you, that even in the crib with your laying beside of you that don't believe in you. I know I stepped on somebody's toes right there, but it's okay, that's what I came here to do. But it's up to you to wipe the tears out your eyes and go get it. Because my motto when I was 7 years old is I believe. I got to Jackson State and I started saying I believe, and they thought it was something new. I've been believing for a long time and I'm not going to ever stop. Now it's about time for you to look at that person next to you and say, I believe. I believe. I mean, you got to feel it. You got to embed it. You got to embody it. Don't just say it with your neck all slanted. You got to put your neck upright and say, I believe. I mean, I believe. That's right. Without a shadow of a doubt, you got to believe. You got to want it. Because everything you want is going to be something in front of it that's going to keep you away from it. So you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to roll your sleeves up. You're going to have to put Vaseline on your face, ladies. Take your earrings off. Take your lace front off, baby. You're going to have to go get it. You're going to have to go get it. Because, see, my top plays happened at practice when no one was looking. My top plays happened in Fort Myers, Florida, when none of you knew anything about me. My top plays happened when it was no camera there. See, those are the plays you just caught on camera. Those weren't my top plays because I practiced like I played, so when I played, it would be practice. Yeah, you were supposed to clap right there because that was straight.
Amen to that. Yeah. Come on, get up the practice place.
So there's somebody out there right now, the light ain't on you, but keep making plays. Nobody's talking about you, but keep making plays.
That's right.
I know your sales numbers aren't where your friend is, but keep making plays. I know nobody's talking about you, and you're not on the leaderboard right now, but baby, keep making plays. I don't know what selfish is when you're playing a team sport.
But even at a team sport, it was my stats, my thing.
No, it wasn't about me, but the better I did, the better we were. So you could see it as selfishness, you could see it as braggadocious, you could see it as individualism, but the better you are, the better it's gonna be for your company, the better it's gonna be for your team, the better it's gonna be for your family, the better it's gonna be for your kids, the better it's gonna be for your siblings. So you got to do your thing. I love team. But in the middle of Deion, there's an I. In the middle of the win, there's an I. In the middle of prime, there's an I. So I knew I had to do my job to make it easy for everybody else. Somebody made a mistake and slipped me a piece of paper and told me how much the defensive backs made at that point in time. That was like in the early 80s. I wasn't happy about that because defensive backs at that time were one of the lowest paid positions. Yep. And I said, I got to do something about that. I was already prime time from high school in the dark that they didn't know about. So when I got to college, prime time was still on the front license plate of my car. So I took that image, I took that phrase, I took that and marketed the heck out of that. So whether you liked me or you hated me, you wanted to see me play good or bad, and I was prime time. So I practiced my quotes. What do you think about the interception? Well, you shouldn't have threw it. You knew better than that. I'm the best thing since peanut butter and jelly. I had already rehearsed that. I had already rehearsed that in the dark. What do you think about that punt return? I told him not to kick to me. You'll be better off going for it on fourth down. I had already rehearsed these quotes because I believe. We're going back to I believe. I believed in me so much. I knew I was going to make the play, but I just needed a package of markability to put myself up there where no one was. And guess what? Old primetime Deion Sander from the 239 from Fort Myers, Florida, never touched a set of foot in the NFL. And the day I walked in the NFL, I was the highest paid defensive back ever. You gotta understand what the combine is. It's where they test you.
Sure.
Where they poke at you. They tell you about your past and your history, and they do all kind of bench press tests and 40-yard dash and shuttle runs and all of that. And I went to that combine.
Yeah.
And
should have led in that story.
They had the bench press there, and I was engaged in a good conversation with one of my cohorts. And they kept saying, Sanders, Sanders. I looked at them, I said, no, I'm good. They said, well, you got to get up a bench. I say, well, I don't think Jerry Rice is going to lay cross my hands and let him do like that. So I don't really need that. I'm good. I'm good. Because I came there for one specific goal. That was run a 40-yard dash to allow them to know that I was what they thought I was. And when I ran it, I kept going and left the building because there was no more to talk about. So sooner or later, you've got to bet on you. You believe in everybody else, you clap for everybody else, you support everybody else, you baking cakes and making cookies for everybody else. But when are you going to look in the mirror and believe in the darn person you see? It's about time for you to believe in you because you got it. You got it. You just got to bring that thing that's on the inside out. So when I went to the combine, I already knew what I had. It was just time for me to show the world. And that's what I did.
Did you even look back to see what your time was?
I didn't have to. Because sometimes in life, you know that you know. You don't have to look back and see what your sales are because you know what you know. You don't have to look back and see what your engagements are because you know what you know. You don't have to look back and see how effective you were because you know what you know. Sometimes you got to know what you know. They're going to call it cockiness. They're going to call it arrogance, but you're going to call it confidence. Because I don't want my confidence to, I'm going to say something and I want you to hold on to it, all right? Get your cameras ready because this is game. Do not allow my confidence to offend your insecurity. Oh, if I could get up and dance, I would dance right now. If I could get up and shout, I would shout right now. Do not allow my confidence to offend your insecurity because I dress like I dress because I'm confident. I look like I look because he's confident. We walk like we walk because we're confident. I don't even use cologne. Now, somebody asked me, what is that you're wearing? I said, confidence. Different levels of understanding. Professional kids are getting a check. Okay, they're young men. They're men. Most of them are pretty much boys with a lot of money, okay? The college kids still want it. They still aspiring to go get it. You got a few knuckleheads that think they're already there. But I know how to humble them and bring them back to course. And the high school kids, they're really hungry and they're thirsty. So they're trying to get to the next level, to the next level. Thank God I've been at all levels, so it gives me the advantage to not only coach, but to recruit because I've been the recruited and I've been the guy that's coaching. Then I've been the father of the person that's being recruited and being coached. So that gives me a tremendous competitive advantage. And see, first of all, you all lie and say you treat your kids the same and you love them all the same. That's a lie. I got rankings. I rank my kids all the time. I'm 5. I ain't leaving none for you because you ain't gonna, I know I do that and I'm honest about it. See, this is our problem. And this may be some of your problems. I just told one of your guys this. We're all in a position that our parents weren't at. So right then, you should give yourself a round of applause. Because through their trials and tribulations, through the sturdiness, through the laziness, through the tardiness, through the work ethic that they instilled in you, you are much farther along. So what does that do? That provokes you to give your children the things that you didn't have. Okay? Now here goes the problem. You're trying to raise a dog by treating them like a cat. Let me explain. See, a cat, he could come and go as he please. A cat is inside the house. A cat has a litter box. A cat has a food that's on timer. You crack they darn food off in cans and is really sophisticated. A cat is really taken care of. But the dog, he's outside tied up on a darn chain. You give him your leftovers, your scraps, what you don't want. Then every once in a while, you want to show off in front of company and you want him to be tough. Now, see, the thing about that, you can't expect that cat to be a dog in front of company. And that's our problem. So what I had to do with my kids, even though we was on the hill, I had to take them over yonder and put them in athletics and put them in schools so they understood how daddy came up and how daddy rose up. I know you still have on designer clothes, but you got to learn some of these things because you're going to need both. You're going to, I like that privileged being, but I need that hood tendency. So when I brought my sons to Jackson State, they had already lived it. My youth organizations, I started in the inner city. My schools, I put in the inner city. Everything I did was in the inner city, even though we was living over here. And I'm thankful for it because it's something I saw as a kid. Now, I was the Jackie Robinson out of my Little League. Yeah, I was the only African-American in the whole entire Little League. Wow. So I went through with the ridicule and I stayed focused and I stayed locked in. That's why I understood Hank Aaron, staying focused and staying locked in no matter what they're calling, no matter what they're saying. And I went across town to participate. So I understood how to do it. I had already seen it in a snapshot. Be careful what you show your kids and what they see because they're going to recant and recall everything. Now, I want you to keep on raising that cat, but you got to teach him some dog tendencies. Let me tell you about that spot. That company had a hard time understanding my thought process and who I was. And when I told them, my biggest fans are the youth, because sometimes people my age and people that look like me didn't really understand me. So I need to appeal to the youth, because the youth was the one going out there telling mommy, daddy, I want those shoes. Wow. I need you to buy those shoes. So my marketing hat was always on, even at an early age, in an early stage of my life. And I was always comfortable around kids. So it's not far-fetched to understand why I'm coaching right now, because I have an affinity for kids and trying to progress them to be professionals, not just professional football players, but professional, period. I wish the day that the draft was held, the next day we had a corporation in the Fortune 500 draft. Because see, I want my kids to be out there. Not just my biological kids, but my kids that play for me in Jackson State. We got 97% of these kids that are not going pro. What's going to happen to them? I need them to make a difference in life. I need them to be somebody. I need them to go and enhance their communities. I need them to make a change somewhere in life and to be great fathers and to be great parents and to be great kids. That's the mindset that I have for my youngsters.
Who would you tell them to watch?
Jesus.
Let's play. Great recruiter right here.
Yeah, but see, oftentimes you got to understand those things that you see, those things that you clap for, those things that you cheer for, those things that you idolize. They're not role models. They're models playing a role. You don't know who they are. You just saw them doing what they're gifted and blessed to do for 2 hours of the day. Could you imagine if the world got an opportunity to see you at your best for 2 hours a day, how your profile would just be enhanced, everything would be wonderful, everything would be so different, because we're showing you for 2 hours doing what you're gifted to do. But what happens to the other 22? See, that's where the problem occurs. That's where the trappings of life occurs. And so oftentimes we do fall into those trappings. I would advise you to be that role model for your child, for your friend, for your homies, for that person that looks up to you and looks out for you. You need to be that person. The role model should be somebody you can touch. My mama was my role model, man. My mama was that. My mama was all that in a bag of chips and will cuss you out to this day and not stumble over a word. My mama worked and made sure ends saw one another, although they never met. My mother, even when I made it, she never asked for mink coats and gold chains and diamonds, although I got that for her. She's on her third home now, never asked for one. Because she was old school. She just wanted what was best for me. And she wasn't thirsty, she wasn't hungry, she wasn't seeking and searching for attention and adulation. And now we got parents trying to be the boss. We got parents trying to be in every commercial, trying to be in every shot. Although I did put my mama in a Super Bowl commercial, which you're gonna see on Sunday. Yeah, I had to make her do that. But it's a different game out there, so we got to be careful who we're calling role model. But I truly believe the role model you should be able to touch. That was image. That was image. Something you could imagine. That was not me.